Okay, looks like we're good to go. Let's start live on Instagram as well. Cool. Ooh. I'm just getting everything set up. Then I'll start working on tortellini. Okay, cool. We are good to go. So I did this portion of tortellini yesterday, and I got hungry, I think, so I wasn't ready to quite finish her. But hopping on today for part 2 of another live. And I spent all weekend looking up a new way to go live, basically. I usually just do it just from my phone, but right now I'm on YouTube and Instagram, and I'm using a fancy software to go live. So if you are watching me on Instagram right now, go to the YouTube live stream that I have, also on One Creative Crow, and I have my nice camera set up close up on this painting, and I think it's a nicer, and you can see my face, and I think it's a nicer way to watch. But today I'm going to be finishing the chunk on her leg and making tortellini a bit darker all over, and then I'll do the background. Kind of putting off doing the background right now because I know it's going to be tricky. I'm trying to match it to a previous painting I've already done of this cat, where it was a very blue-green splashy background, and I've done several other paintings for this client as well, all in the same style. So I've kind of set it up a bit for myself where I have to match it. I really want to match it, and I know that might be a little tricky, so that is why I'm currently putting it off. My husband and dogs are home today, so if you guys hear some noises, barking, doorbell ringing, moving around, that's what's going on. I have wiener dogs, and they are not known for being quiet. Let me know if you can hear me too right now. Like I said, I am new to this. I'm trying a new streaming software here on YouTube, and I've got my headphones in as my microphone, but who knows? I was having a lot of trouble with it yesterday. I'm trying to keep an eye on chats here too on both Instagram and YouTube. So if I miss you, it's not personal. I just may not have seen it. But yeah, if you're on Instagram, go check out the same stream on my YouTube right now because my face is on there and I have a nicer camera set up recording than my phone, which is what you see right now on Instagram. The only thing is on YouTube, you can't see my palette like you can right now on Instagram. I don't know. It's a give and take. I have not figured out the best solution for streaming yet. All I know is I like to do it when I'm not doing a full process video of a painting, like for a long form YouTube video or anything like that. If I'm just painting, then I might as well hop on live and hang out with some people and be a little bit more productive working on the painting. because when I'm not on live and I just have access to my phone right there and I'm working on a painting, it takes me hours. And I was saying yesterday on this live that this painting is going to be the hardest, like, it is the hardest fur I've ever worked on. I also have the reference photo up on my YouTube live stream as well if you're here on Instagram. It's kind of fun to look back and forth and see what area I'm working on. But with this fur like this like tortoiseshell, really splotchy fur, I'm trying really hard to be just loose and whimsical with the painting and not get too caught up in the details because I will go crazy trying to perfectly match Tortellini's fur. Just gonna fix the focus here. There we go. Hello, the little sisters. Yes, this is another commission. It is a surprise commission, so don't tell. But I asked, and the person who is receiving this as a gift doesn't follow me on anything. So I got permission to stream it live and record it and post about it. But this, and if you go on my YouTube, you can see the reference photo and the previous photo posted right now on my YouTube live of this cat that I've painted in the past. So she originally commissioned me for her 3 cats, and one of the photos of the cats was only a kitten photo. And so later she came back and wanted an adult photo to match the other 2 adult photos of her other cats. And now she has come back again and asked for the kitten photos of the other 2 adult cats. So all in all, 6 portraits? Yeah, 6 portraits. And I feel very honored that she's, let me paint for her so many times. Here, I have the kitten painting I just did. I did it on a YouTube live a few days ago. Trying to show both cameras. Okay, so for Instagram, you can see it there. And then for YouTube, here it is. But this is Sullivan, and you might remember he is the cat that I painted in a paper bag last year. So I'm trying to keep all the backgrounds similar across all 6 portraits. And then bear with me, I want to look at my YouTube channel real quick and make sure I'm actually on right now, because I am not tech savvy, so I don't trust myself. I want to make sure it's going. I rearranged my whole desk, my whole art setup for this. Okay, yeah, I'm there. Sweet. I'm really close to starting the background. I just want to make sure I get all these little details in first. This is a pose I've never painted, and it hurts my brain to look at because the reference photo is tricky. It's cute, but it's tricky. And I don't really ever paint portraits where their eyes are shut either, so I can't rely on having really pretty sparkly eyes to capture the viewer in the painting. I need to get her fur texture right, because that is what is kind of the star of the show here. Normally, like if I have a painting I don't love, but I get the eyes perfect and I can add a little sparkle in the eyes, it saves the painting. It makes it look good, regardless of what's going on elsewhere in that painting. But I don't have that luxury here. face definitely needs to go darker. I'm scared to mess it up, so I haven't done it yet. But I'm guessing I probably have like, I don't know, an hour left on this painting. Hold on, I want to fix my camera on my YouTube. I just feel like it's not super clear. It's a little better. Okay, and then I'm gonna move her. Down a little bit. Okay, that's better. It's really hard to get a good angle doing videos like this, like process videos or lives, because the best angle is also like where my face is, where my head, where I'm sitting. And I don't like painting when there's a camera right in front of my face. It just ruins the process. Makes me so annoyed. So I'm just trying to not be too exact with her fur here. Trying to keep it loose and flowy and maybe give more the idea of fluffy fur rather than paint it exactly as the photo says. And layering will help too with fur texture like this. Okay, I think should start on the background now. How's my water looking? It's clear enough. We're good. Get some extra paper towels ready because I tend to make a mess. And I already have some green and blue ready to go and one paint well there from her brother that I just painted. But I'm going to clear out another one just in case. Again, I'm just looking at her right now. I'm looking at her past painting I did and her reference photo and seeing how I can complement that or match it. And also comparing it to her kitten reference photo and where the light is coming in. Looks like it's coming in from that top left corner-ish. So I don't know, I'll go with that. I'm gonna start with super light yellow. Take my paint or my tape off over there. And I can always add more. It's hard to take away, but you can always add more. So start light. And on areas where her fur is super dark over here, it's not a big deal if I accidentally paint over an ear or a foot or section of fur because I'll just take a black pen or some dark paint later and go back over the background with it. The tricky bit with the color I like to use for these backgrounds is it's a very staining color. It's this like phthalo blue, and it as soon as you put it down somewhere, it sticks. So like I've probably already waited too long for that area. There's going to be a faint line. With other colors, you can use more water and pick it up and move it around. But that phthalo blue, green, teal color, it stains really bad. It's also why my desk is super stained. It's just so vibrant, and it's not granulating, so it doesn't leave a lot of texture behind, which I hate. It's also why I use hot press paper. These wispy hairs on her leg, I'm just going to paint right over right now, because I'll go back in with an opaque white paint and add that at the end, and it'll look so much better that way. I use the dryer because I am too impatient. I don't want to wait for paint to dry. And I like to be in control of where it moves and where it dries. And I find with this hot press paper, I can better control like water pooling when I just dry it on my own. It is kind of tedious just sitting there hand drawing whole sections though. I'll find myself. This is why it's good for me to be on live, because during those times when I'm doing that hand dryer and I'm not on live or recording, I find myself like literally getting on and scrolling in the middle of painting while I'm using that hand dryer. It's bad. Ooh, that didn't look good there. Little black line. Whoops. Must have been a little spot of black paint on my brush. Okay, I don't hate how that background is looking right now, so I'm gonna leave it and not mess with it too much. See if I can get a little more field of view on my YouTube though. I feel like it's just a little blurry. There we go. And now that I've added some saturation into the background, I need my tape. I can see more clearly where I need to go darker on the rest of Tortellini's body. add some fur texture in here to her tail. But again, I don't want to keep it too detailed because the tail is not the focus. It's supposed to be her arm and her face right here. This area can definitely go darker under her ear or face. I don't even know what's going on in here. And then I'll probably get some darker teal because there's a shadow right here on that reference photo. And darken that up, and that will start helping things make more sense. But yeah, definitely the hardest fur I've ever painted. Hardest fur I've ever painted, but I think because of that, I'm going more abstract, and it's ending up being one of the like faster paintings I've been able to do. I've got my iPad over here off to the side with the reference photo up. And I like using Procreate for that because I can long press directly on the photo and it'll tell me exactly what color I'm looking at on the photo. I used to do a lot of like digital art and digital pet portraits, but it started hurting my hand a lot. And watercolor doesn't hurt my hand because I guess I don't have to press as hard or focus on holding that. Like the Apple Pencil is kind of heavy too. So, hello there. Thanks for joining in the chat. This is Tortellini that I'm painting. I've painted her as an adult before, and you can see that picture there up on my YouTube stream, but her mom came back and wanted a kitten portrait. Unfortunately, she didn't have a lot of kitten portraits of her or kitten photos of her. So that's why we're doing this pose here. It's not normally a photo I would choose out of, what everyone sends me for painting, but it's not like you can go back in time and get more photos of your cat when they were a kitten. So this is what we had. And it is a really cute pose. It's a unique pose. It's not one I've ever done before. And once I go in and add all the wispy furs at the end, it'll tie it all together. This area is kind of confusing. I think that's her. It might be her back leg. I can't tell if it's her back leg or front leg, honestly. It almost needs to go more orange or yellow too. I'm streaming on Instagram too, but I can see the stream. It looks good. But the only viewer is myself. I don't know. I'm still new to all the streaming stuff, trying to figure it out. It's still just for fun right now. Not too fussed about it. Almost orange back here. And then I should get some more black over this orange. Like this fur color is so hard. She has so many layers to it. That looks really bad right now, but Bear with me. I'll paint. I'll make it look better. Get some black, and let's add all those spots. So looking at her reference photo, okay, so this is a little spot on her face. And then it goes very heavily dark back here. And then there's a little spot of yellow left right there. And then I'm just gonna add in a bunch of dots here. My dog is on crate rest right now because he hurt his back, and he just has to stay in the crate while it heals for now. But he's in a playpen. He's not in a crate right now. But if he's downstairs scratching, I can hear him. So if you hear it, that's what it is. That's Tuna making his presence known. Make this leg area darker. It's not full black. It's actually more brown. That's more yellow than orange, actually. Don't love the way her leg looks right now. Maybe if I just blend it all together a bit more with a color over the top. So I feel like it's just drawing too much attention right now. tortoiseshell fur is so tricky. Just trying to keep it all loose and abstract and watercolor-ish. There's Tuna. He is very fed up at being in crate rest. Add in some fun splatters. Okay, I think I need to do her face now. I'm gonna turn her upside down for that. I really wish I knew if this was her front leg or back leg up here. Ultimately, it doesn't matter. I just paint what I see, but not a clue. I think it must be her back leg, looking at her past photos I've done, but who could say? Very typical cat, though, like when they're all curled up and just a ball of limbs. Sorry if I'm not super chatty right now. I'm concentrating very hard on these teeny little spots around her face. Some of them I'm trying to leave white so I can go back over and turn them yellow like they are on her face. But ultimately, I'm going to miss a lot of those, and I'm going to have to use some opaque paint mixed with orange and just paint that over the top. Like this whole area right here is filled with little yellow hairs. But what it means is I'm getting close to done if that's all I have left to do. Just trying to blend the colors together a bit more on her tail so they're not so spiky and individualistic. I want it to look a bit blurry, out of focus down here. Okay. I'm going to start with black pen, maybe? Yeah. Just clean up my outlines a bit, make everything look a little sharper, because right now she looks a little blurry. So I just pick a few spots here and there on the painting. I don't know everywhere, and use a black pen and clean it all up. The only thing about using pens with the watercolor paintings is like I have more control over them, but you can't remove it. Like even with some staining watercolor paint, you can, to a degree, scrub it up out of the paper if you really don't like what you put down. But when you put pen down, it's done. She has all these little black fuzzy furs that will look so good with thin black pen as the detail. And this needs to go way darker right there, actually. I'm just making sure my Instagram live didn't freeze. Okay, there we are. Cool. Is this still in view? It's hard to tell when I've got like literally 3 cameras going right now. It's pretty quiet today though. I normally get a few more chats than this. Granted, it is the middle of the workday. But it was quiet yesterday too, and that was a Sunday. I don't know if it's because I'm trying new streaming methods beyond just my cell phone video. Who knows with the algorithms these days? I don't know if you can see it. It's like the perfect texture for the wispy furs, though. Let's see if I can zoom in at all on my live on Instagram. Yeah, that's better. Okay. As I start adding all these teeny details around the painting too, it helps me realize, oh, like, oh man, I need to go darker in this area right here. Thanks. If you're watching on my Instagram, it's better on my YouTube right now. I'm also live on YouTube because I have a nicer camera up close on it, and then I have the reference photo and my face going too. I just feel like I miss a lot of people when I don't go live on Instagram. Like her nose needs to be like a glowing pink right now. I just don't have the perfect shade of pink for that. It's hard because a lot of the like awesome pink watercolor pigments are fugitive, which means they disappear when exposed to light over a period of time. And obviously, if I'm selling these as keepsake portraits, that doesn't work. And that was absolutely the wrong color to do right there. Whoops. She could probably go more yellow on her nose. It's almost white right now. This painting is so, the reference photo is confusing to look at. I feel like I'm missing a lot of details, but don't have to get every single detail perfectly correct. It's meant to be, you know, my interpretation of this cat, this kitten. But yeah, this fur texture is super difficult. Okay, I'm gonna start with the opaque white paint details now. How long have I been live? I can't even see. I think I'm moving faster than normal on this painting. I really need to get some more of this stuff. I left the cap off many times, and so it is very dried out. But it's my favorite for finishing details on paintings. But I get some out of the little jar here, and then I thin it out in the cap. And then I further thin it out on paper towel so I can have better control over it. And this is what I do my wispy furs with. I like this stuff too because it's not permanent. Like if I mess up or drop it onto the paper or something, which I frequently do, I'm able to lift it out with just some water and a brush and a paper towel. It doesn't stain. Even once it dries, I've been able to remove it and redo an area. I might also go in with a white gel pen, but that is permanent, so I hold off on that until I'm really sure I need the super fine control and the super tiny lines that a gel pen can give me. This is probably the part of the painting that I spend the most time on. These little details like this. Is that even zoomed in or clear on my YouTube? Yeah, looks clear enough. I need a better cable to stream on YouTube with. Right now, it is limited quality with the camera I'm using because my cable is limited. Maybe that's why it's been struggling last couple of days too, view-wise, because I switched to this camera, and while it's a good camera, it's limited to only like 720 right now because of that cable I'm using. So I tried to preserve, some of the white of the paper, and by painting around most of the white spots or lighter colored spots on this cat, I would not have been able to do all these tiny yellowish orange hairs. So that's why I'm just using some opaque paint mixed with the pigment right now to get that final effect. And it's a water-based opaque white paint, so it's still considered watercolor, but it's not like I'm submitting this into an art competition or anything like that where they're going to be super strict about any pen use or, you know, the technique used. Little teeny tiny chin hairs are so thin and delicate. I think some areas on that arm can go darker. Now that I'm looking at where to put the super white hairs over top, I'm seeing that it's basically black underneath. Bye, Morgan. Thank you. For those of you that don't know, I am also on. I'm on both YouTube and Instagram right now. So if you hear me replying to somebody and you don't see why, but I'm probably replying to someone on the other platform. She has all these super tiny, wispy hairs over her whole body. And I don't think it'll look right if I don't paint them. Like, that's part of what makes her fur her, at least in this photo. Thank you, Bella. I'm gonna keep adding these wispy furs, but I think I'm gonna darken the background too in some areas. Make sure my Instagram can see. Yeah, we're good. We're getting there. few more minutes, honestly. I don't think there are too many other details to mess around with. There comes a point where you just should stop before you overwork it. I just want to add a few more of these wispy white hairs. Okay, now the whiskers. They're gonna blend in already, just the way her fur is. But they are at least a little bit brighter than the things around them. Okay, I think trying to decide if I want to add more background color or not. I run the risk of messing it up if I do that. But for reference, this is the painting that's going home with it. And you can see how much more vibrant this one is. And you can see the painting I've already done on my YouTube up right now of Tortellini, where it is definitely brighter. All right, I gotta go brighter. I talked myself into it. I like to do this bright green, like yellow, Hansa yellow. It's kind of opaque, but it's so vibrant. And then sometimes I mix in some cadmium yellow. They just dry nice and smooth not a lot of granulation. And then they look so nice layered over blue. I might have to go back over with some more white paint for those wispy hairs I'm painting over right now, but that'll be quick. Maybe some fun paint splatters. I don't like where that one ended up, so I'm gonna move it quickly. And at this stage, I'm kind of okay if the paint pools a little bit in some areas and creates hard lines and hard edges. I just think it adds to the interest of the background. Okay, that definitely increased the vibrancy. Yeah, now they're more similar, I would say. And then I like to add white splatters as well. I've been saying I'm almost done for like 20 minutes now, but I promise this time I'm actually almost done. Nothing crazy because I don't want it to look like snow. Ooh, that was too much there. But just a few here and there. I feel like it adds movement to the painting. And then it's the paper's warped right now, but that I can fix easy later on. I just flatten it between some books for a few hours. Okay, I'm gonna call it there. I don't want to overwork it. I'm just gonna leave it, see how I feel about it later. I might add more, but I think it's done. Thank you for hopping on and watching with me, those of you who did. And if you're watching later, I hope you enjoyed this process.